Hello, I am your Kingdom Spiritual Transformational and Life Purpose Life Coach and Mentor, Latricia Booker, here with Kingdom Business, where we are empowered, where we heal, we get delivered, and we get free. We know who we are. We elevate our minds and our spirits and raise and expand our consciousness to ultimately walk in our true divine purpose and power, and that is the truth of who God has created us to be. Kingdom people, we are history makers, we are world changers, we are dream successors, we are wealth generators, we are manifestors, we are curse breakers, and we most definitely are transformers. More than meets the eye. Yeah, Kingdom people, we are. Kingdom people, thank you all so very much for viewing my videos. Thank you for all the likes, for the subscribes, for the shares, for all your comments and feedback. Thank you for all of your encouragement and inspiration. Thank you all for all the seeds that you sow into me and my ministry. Kingdom people, thank you for all of your bookings and all of your purchases. Thank you, Kingdom people, for all that you do here on Kingdom Business. Thank you, Kingdom people. Thank you. So, Kingdom people, I am on location, and you already know what I'm here to do. And if you don't know, then now you know. I am here to drop this, beat this, word this message. Yeah. Kingdom people, I am the chain breaker, and you are chain breakers too, Kingdom people. Are y'all ready to break these chains? Let's go. Come on, Kingdom people. Let me upgrade you. Let me activate you. Let me elevate you, Kingdom people. So listen, Kingdom people. This message is a little bit heartbreaking. Comes from a heartbreaking situation. And it took me some time to even speak on this because God was talking to me and speaking to me about it, and I was going through my own little things surrounding the whole situation, and I needed to get myself in a place where I could talk about it and be able to actually talk without having very emotional moments. And I'm talking about this, Kingdom people, the Shanquella Robinson effect. And that's what God gave me concerning this matter. It's the Shanquella Robinson effect. And so, Kingdom people, I know many of you heard, and if you have not heard, Shanquella Robinson is a young lady, 25 years old, African American, who was with her friends in Cancun, Mexico on vacation, and she never made it back home because her friends, so-called friends, kind of jumped on her. They end up fighting her, and she ended up dead. Now, she was with friends, so-called friends. Those were not her friends. And what I want to point out is, just looking at what I seen, the videos, the way that the one person that I saw that was beating her up, I just want to say first that the way that person was beating her, that was not her friend. She was beating her. The person, I say the person because I don't know if it was a man or a woman. Like, some say it was a woman, some say it was a man, some say it was the trans, whatever they be. So maybe a man being a woman, I don't know. But what I saw is someone beating someone brutally as if they were an enemy, as if they were trying to seriously hurt them. And when I saw that, the first thing that I thought was, I would never, ever, if I had a falling out with a friend of mine, I would never, ever go there. Someone would have to do something horribly horrible for me to fight them like that. Furthermore, I wouldn't even do that. I'd just be trying to get away from them. Now, if there's different, if they're doing something to me and attacking me, and I have to defend myself. But the thing, Kingdom people, is they was beating this young lady, and she wasn't even fighting back. And so, it was very disturbing to me. When I saw it, I cried. It broke my heart. And I had kept seeing the story circulating in my feed, and I finally said, let me see what's going on. And then I watched more and more, and the more I watched, I'm like, it broke my heart, Kingdom people. It was horrible. And first, I want to say that young lady didn't deserve it. She had it going on. She was a decent young lady who handled her business, who was about her, she was about grinding. And, she just was someone who had it going on. Kind of like you, Kingdom People. Not kind of, like you, Kingdom People. Maybe not in a way of being Kingdom People. But then at the same time, it's not for me to judge. But this is the thing. She was a young lady. And so what God said to me about this, the first thing God said to me is this. He said, that's what your enemies want to do to you. So, Kingdom People, God just, and then he went on and continued to talk. He said, that's what the enemy wants to do to my people. So that's what the devil wants to do to Kingdom People. But the thing is, that's what some of your enemy wants to do. Now, here's the thing. They might not want to kill you physically. Some do. God told me some people want you out of here. But here's the thing. I personally don't even believe that they were trying to kill her. I believe they were just trying to beat her up. They were trying to break her spirit. And it was a group of friends. And they were all jealous of her, clearly. Because even the person who was recording, my thinking was, who's recording something like this? Especially if it's a setup to kill her. And you airing it. But this is what occurred to me. You know how people record things. People have their phones. They see something going on out in the streets. They record it. But it's usually someone who's separate from what's happening. I can remember seeing videos of people, kids, I mean, not necessarily kids, but high school children maybe, even maybe grammar school children. Mainly I've seen high school students fighting in a classroom or something like that. And someone in the class is recording it. But in the case, or you see something out on the streets where someone is recording something that's happening that really don't have anything to do with them. They just happen to be there to record it. And sometimes that's helpful when we can see certain things that happen, because anyhow, I don't want to get too much into that. But in this case, it didn't make much sense. But what occurred to me, what God showed me is this. It was all designed to make her look bad. In other words, Shanquella Robinson, the young lady who was unalived, who they unalived. But again, God gave me, it was not their intention to do that. It was their intention to humiliate her and look bad and just break her spirit, which is why it was being recorded so it could be shown. Because again, Kingdom People, these were not her friends. But this is the thing, Kingdom People, they behaved with her as if they were her friend. They dealt with her as if they were her friend. They kikied and caca with her as if she was their friend, as if they were her friend. And also, come to find out, she paid for the whole trip. Come to find out, after she was unalived, after they unalived her, they took money from her. I don't know how, but I understand they ran up her credit card to $10,000, whatever happened. It was all about getting something from her. And from experience, and from my personal experience, and even many of you Kingdom People, you have had people too who want to cause you harm, but they want to take from you all at the same time. They don't like you. They're jealous of you. They want to break you. Break your spirit, kill your spirit, should I say. Some want to unalive you, but they want what you have. They want to take what you have. They want what you have because they don't have it. And so they will play the role. Some people, Kingdom People, do play the role with you as if they're cool with you. Y'all know, y'all been seeing the signs. And this is the thing what God gave me. He said, this is a message, a good message for Kingdom People. This is a lesson. It's very unfortunate that that young lady had to lose her life. But this is the thing, Kingdom People. We know, because God is showing us. God is making us aware of our enemies. He's making us aware of so-called friends, even relatives that we see don't really care for us, that don't like us, that are jealous of us, that have been trying to break our spirits, and maybe some want to unalive you. I mean, as sad as it is, you really never know. I have heard of it to be the case with some people. I don't know it to be so. Well, I take that back. I have known it to be so personally with me. Not necessarily with family that I know of. I know I've had family that want me shut down. They don't want me to be who I am in God. You know, and it has been demonstrated over and over through certain behaviors, some more than others. And so it comes a point to where you have to not deal with people who are jealous of you, which is what I'm getting to. Because jealous people are never, their whole goal is to tear you down, break you, even kill your spirit or unalive you in some kind of a way. Jealous people cannot wish you well. And what happens, kingdom people, is this. I've said it before. It's been a while since I've said it here. But when jealousy is not nipped in the bud, see, the very fact jealousy is there is a problem. But it can happen. But you have to kill that spirit. You got to bind that spirit up. You got to cast it out. And not allow that spirit to enter in, which means you have to do the work within yourself so you won't be having a jealous spirit in the first place, which means deal with your insecurities, gather some self-love, you know what I'm saying? Do what you need to do for your life, do the work so you won't be hating on another. Because when people are trying to tear someone else down, when people are jealous of someone else, it's a thing where they are not happy within themselves, or the person that they are viewing as a issue or they're jealous of, they feel that they have something that they lack. And so they want to hurt them because of it. When people are different, number one, we're all different. So we're not going to all be the same. But instead of appreciating people for who and what they are, people get jealous. And it's a very sick disease. I've said that before. I said disease. I just heard what I said. It is a disease. It's a mental illness. It's a demonic spirit is what it is. And so, kingdom people, here's the thing. She was a young lady, and I had a moment with God. I said, God, I took myself back to when I was younger, and I remember finding myself in some situations and circumstances, in some troubled situations. It didn't turn out quite like that. I was able to get out, but when I was younger, I was in some situations because I put myself in those situations. The question was, I had to ask myself, was I picking up on that? Did I discern those situations? By the time I personally discerned the situations, that there was something wrong and I was in trouble, was when it was already too late. I was already in the situation, and I just did what I had to do to survive. To just survive. I had to go along with some things so that I could survive, so I could make it out. But the question for me was, did I discern it? Because you could pick up on things. You kind of know something wrong. And sometimes you can look past it and be like, oh. But that's a message to no. Don't put that off. Don't ignore that. Listen. Now, what God gave me concerning that situation was it was the same thing with her. She probably picked up on some little things. And when I say picked up on little things, along the way, her friends, even though they was kiki and kaka acting like they was the best of friends, were showing signs of not really being her friend. They were showing signs of jealousy. Jealousy always leaks out. And you just have to pay attention to the signs. But sometimes we often just keep going. I did it too. With some people for years. Knew that they were jealous. They showed it over and over again. So many things that people can do and say are indicators. And they're letting you know they're jealous. And I would just keep quiet about a lot of things and just go with it. And in some situations, just hoping that it would get better. Hoping that it would go away. But what I learned, and God has told me this out of his own mouth, from his mouth to my ears, or from his spirit to my spirit, well, we the same spirit, is jealousy don't go away. Either you have to cast it out, or if you don't, it just grows, it brews, it gets stronger. And that, kingdom people, is kind of what happened with the beloved Shanquella Robinson. She had friends who was brewing jealousy in them, and they just couldn't take it no longer. Like I said, they were showing signs. She just looked past it. And it's not a thing where she did We do that. We all have done it. We all do it. Some of us kingdom people right now, we know we are in God and God is showing us. But the point is that we have that discernment. I'm not saying she didn't, but I'm going to say it like this. By the time she knew she was in trouble, it was too late, because she was cornered and she was vulnerable, and it was too late. And the point is this overall, kingdom people. We can't play with this. When God is showing you someone, when God is letting you know someone is jealous of you, and they keep showing you, and God says to you, you need to let them go. You need to, whatever the case may be, leave, stop responding to them, have nothing to do with them. It's serious. You have to take it seriously, because that jealousy don't go away. And what can happen is, well, not what can happen. What happens, it gets worse. Let me go back just a little bit and say this. In that video, from the reports, different people reporting what happened over and over again, what I kept hearing was, one of the young ladies was saying to the dear Shanquella, our beloved Shanquella Robinson, one of the young ladies that was attacking her said, I'm tired of her. But we never heard what preceded her saying what she tired of her. And I had to ask God, what was she tired of? And God said to me she was tired of being jealous of her. Then God said she was tired of her existing and having to be, and then she having to be jealous of her because she's still existing. So God was saying that she was tired of being jealous of her. She was tired of her being here, just, it's like, I gotta beat her down. I gotta break her. I gotta hit her because I'm jealous. Not me. But that was what was going on with the young lady and the group of friends, because they all played a part in it, no matter what. And I'm not want to go into the details of the one that said they got there later, because it was one. I ain't trying to go into all that. I'm just speaking to what happened and the jealousy, and that these were so-called friends. And yes, they were young. And I even said that, when I went back to my young self, I'm like, you be a little naive and stupid. And, you learn as you grow older and mature mature spiritually, and continue to follow your discernment and follow God and his instructions. What happens is your discernment gets stronger. You just see it for what it is. It was always there, but it just gets stronger. And then God is developing his people. And as you're allowing yourself to be developed spiritually, he's elevating you. And so in all that elevation, that's spiritual elevation. So that means that your discernment is elevating. You can just see, you just know. But when you're younger, maybe not so. It may not be as strong and as heightened. You have some, and that varies for different people. It's different. But the point is, I'm like, well, what did we do? Because I immediately thought about the youth. And the thing is, this kind of people, that spirit of jealousy is just running rapid. It ain't just young people, it's old people. I got elders jealous of me. You know what I'm saying? But there have been elders, people that's supposed to be an example to me, that have been the ones that have been tried to break my spirit, that, were harboring jealousy towards me. And obviously some hatred, to where, they wanted me broken and broke down, at least enough to where I wouldn't be able to be who God called me to be. And so it made me think of, how God began to move me around people and telling me to back up from people. And it's like, whoa, I'm not saying that none of those situations would have come to that. Where I know a couple of situations where if people could do that to me and had the opportunity to do that to me, and that, I'm not speaking of family, but I'm speaking of people that I know did want to unalive me. And I know of a couple of people who were actually setting something up to do so. But God slid me out of the vicinity, you know, listen, God knows how to protect us. Not that they could have overall done it, but God has a way of moving you around before people can do what they think they're going to do. But that was me, not as in my younger years. This was more recent. So I'm saying all that to say that it's dangerous dealing with people that are jealous. It's a dangerous thing because did I say that the other thing that God, I said that God said that that's what they want to do to you. It's the Shanquella Robinson effect, Kingdom people. That's what they want to do to you. Some people want to do that to you. Again, I don't believe that they meant for that to go that far, that bad. Well, God is correcting me like they didn't, because he already told me so. But it did. And that's because that's the way, I'm going to put it like that. That was a lesson or consequences for all them ones that were involved. They didn't mean for it to go like that. And so that's a whole nother message. I don't want to go into it too much, but I'm just going to hit on it. Your enemies, they push and do this, and they do this, that, and the other. And what if, let's just say, what if? Because you got to think about this, Kingdom people. Some people don't overcome. That's why so many people are committing the S word, because everybody can't handle that. So when you pushing somebody or you push somebody, you're trying to break somebody down. What if you push somebody to do something like that and that's not what you was trying to do? And then you have to live with that. You have to live with that. And in the case with Shanquella Robinson, they have to live with being in jail, because that's where they're going. And that's where they need to be. So it's a thing where, people need to get themselves together. But because they're not Kingdom people, you have to protect yourself. And what am I saying? Stop dealing with people who are jealous of you, that you already know are jealous of you. Now, I get it takes time. I get that, I get it. But what I'm saying is, Kingdom people, this is a message to not deal with jealous people, especially when you know somebody is jealous of you, because Kingdom people, God is showing you. God is showing you the signs. You're aware. And if you keep tipping and tapping and, mingling with these people, it might not end well for you. And I'm not saying it's going to end like that. But what I am saying, they killing something. They blocking something. They keeping something from moving forward. And that's their whole goal. But if you allow it, if you keep positioning yourself with these people, it's kind of you putting yourself in that position. So you have to use your own discernment, and not just that, wisdom, or take the knowledge that you have and use wisdom. Well, yeah, same thing. Because Kingdom people, listen, it's not God's will or desire for you to continue dealing with jealous people, especially in these times. Because this spirit is running rampant. It's always been here, but it's at an all-time high. And that situation with this young lady was a clear example of why it's so important to be careful who your friends are, and not just that, who you dealing with people. Because like I already said, it ain't just friends. Some of y'all got some family members. Y'all need to listen. Stay away. And again, it's not always a thing where they want to go that far. But when they got stuff like that bubbling up in their spirit, it's not good. You shouldn't even want to be around that. But Kingdom people, let me go ahead and give these scriptures that God gave me. They want to Shanquella Robinson, you Kingdom people. James 3:16 says, wherever you find jealousy and fighting, there will be trouble and every other kind of wrongdoing. I'm going to read that again. James 3:16. Wherever you find jealousy and fighting, there will be trouble and every other kind of wrongdoing. Jealousy is going to cause some problems. That's why you stay away when you have identified that someone is jealous of you. If you're someone dealing with jealousy in your heart, you might want to clean that up. You might want to clean that up. Especially if you're trying to walk in God's ways. That's not of God. The spirit of jealousy, it says, there will be trouble. You bring trouble on yourself. Those jealous friends brought trouble on themselves. Your jealous enemies bring trouble on themselves because God deals with them, kingdom people. Jealousy will get you in trouble and the person who's jealous in some serious trouble. But for you, kingdom people, you keep yourself out of the trouble and stay away from the jealous folks because you know they jealous. And if you know of someone, I wanted to say, if you know of someone, they ain't necessarily jealous of you, but you know they jealous of somebody, stay away from them too. But what God said, because I was going to say, if they get jealous of someone else, they'll be jealous of you. But what God said to me when I was saying is that they are jealous of you too. Because these kind of people just carry a jealous spirit. And you don't want to deal with people that carry that jealous spirit. These kind of people need to deal with their own insecurities, their own low self-esteem, their own whatever that happened to them and whatever. And when they not, you need to get away from them when you know they are jealous. Especially when God said go. Proverbs 27:4 says, anger causes trouble and a bad temper is like a flood. But who can stand where there is jealousy? Who can stand? Well, I tell you what, Shanquella Robinson couldn't stand. She couldn't stand. That jealousy had become enraged. It had become outrage. It had blew a socket. It exploded. And she couldn't stand. She could not stand the jealousy. The jealousy that brewed and was that was brewing in these people had exploded, and it caused her to be unalive. She couldn't stand jealousy. So kingdom people, before things get any worse, you may be very strong. It may be a thing where it's nothing that these people can do to you as far as you don't care whether they jealous, they can't hurt you, this, and the other. But the thing is this, kingdom people, when you constantly around someone who's jealous of you, trust and believe they constantly trying to do something to break you. That's all they know. That's what they go. That's what jealousy does. Jealousy don't go somewhere and sit in the corner and be still. It don't do that. Even if it's slick, you don't see it. Like we know, God is showing us. Maybe it took a while for you to see it, or maybe you seen certain little things and then you didn't really catch on, but as time went on, and especially when it's a repetitive thing, that's one of the things that I've experienced, when it's a repetitive thing and then it heightened, because jealous people, what happens is it'll start leaking out more and more. They get more, it's almost like they get more comfortable with it, but really what be happening is that thing is showing itself, because God allow it to show itself so you can see. So you can't deny what it is. James 3:14 says, if you have jealousy in your heart and fight to have many things, do not be proud of it. Do not lie against the truth. So it says here, if you have jealousy in your heart and fight to have many things, do not be proud of it. Do not fight against the truth. So people who have jealousy in their heart, they fighting to have what you have. That's why they jealous, because of what you have, who you are, whatever it is, whatever they deem that you have that they don't have. They're fighting to have it. And in this case, with the beautiful Shanquella Robinson, they unalived her as if they was going to have it. Did they have something temporarily, her money, temporarily? They stole it after they unalived her, after she had paid for a whole trip for them. But the point that I'm making here is the whole fight was because they didn't have what they felt she didn't have. So they were fighting to have what she had. But did they get it? No. Jealousy and you fighting and doing all that, trying to bring somebody and whatever the people do because they're jealous, does not make you have what the other person have. And I just really heard it. Neither Black magic don't get it done either. Black magic spells and all that, it's an illusion. Even if you think it's working, eventually it's going to be what you think. If you think you have some of what somebody else has, that at some point will be stripped. Because that's how God works. That's how God works. If he didn't make you to be somebody else, he's not going to allow you to be somebody else. I don't care what kind of work you put in. And it don't always have to be actually doing something. It could just be energetically speaking and pulling from people and mimicking people, trying to emulate people to think you're them. But kingdom people, it says here, do not lie against the truth. So in other words, you jealous because somebody is something that you ain't. And so you fighting, not you kingdom people, but jealous people. So you fighting to have those things, but it's an illusion. It's the truth. You lying to yourself. Kingdom people, listen, take this as a message to get away from your enemies, to have nothing to do with them, especially enemies that you don't have to have anything to do with, especially them. Be mindful of how you deal with the ones you have to deal with. And in other words, you may be in a work environment and you have to deal with certain people, certain ones that are jealous of you. But when you cannot be around them and you don't have to be around them, and I'm just hearing again, and why would you want to be around them? Kingdom people, I know a person, I don't want to be around them folks. I do not. And I ain't mad at nothing. It just is what it is. We don't have nothing in common. And why would I want to be around somebody that I know don't mean me well? And like I said, in some of my experiences, time and time, it's been so many incidents that they built up. And there's no denying what it is. And it is what it is. And I have accepted it for what it is. And I don't take it personal against me. I just realized they have some issues. And I'm going to be who I am. I'm going to be who I am. And if somebody mad because I am who I am, if people got a problem with me being who I am, and if people got a problem with you being who you are, kingdom people sound like they got a problem. It's not your problem. But your thing to do is to stay away from them, kingdom people. Anyway, kingdom people, I just had to come speak on that. Like I said, I needed some time to get myself to where I can talk, because it has been very emotional for me. Every time I think of it, or every time I would think of it, or see something else on it, I just, I was like grieving. I was in a place of grieving, and I didn't want to come and speak to you all and be bleeding all on the kingdom people. I had to get myself, I had to recover, and get myself, okay, so I can speak on it. But that's what God was giving me, kingdom people, that they want to Shanquella you. They want to Shanquella Robinson you. And it is the Shanquella Robinson effect. And again, we can learn so much about that situation. And it's so sad when people this has to happen to people to speak to us as to how serious it is. Because that was deep. That was some deep stuff. I know people do stuff when they jealous. But that was whoa. That was just whoa. Anyway, kingdom people, I'm going to let that rest right there. If you like this video, or if it resonate with you, please just go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Then click on that red subscribe button and subscribe to my channel if you have not already done so. Thank you. Then click on that bell right next to that red subscribe button so that you can get a notification every time I upload a new video, something like this from Kingdom People. Also, if you are interested in any of the services that I offer, if you are interested in sowing a seed into me and my ministry, and if you're interested in, any information about me, checking out my podcast, please find all the information right down below in the description box. Also, check out my YouTube memberships as well. So yeah, Kingdom people, I love you all so very much. I really appreciate you all being here with me. You all know I don't want to leave you, but I do have to go right now. But I will be back to hold my kingdom people down. Kingdom people, with that being said, much love, light, and peace, and many blessings to you all. Kingdom people, above all else, let the Holy Spirit lead you in all things at all times. Kingdom people, we are untouchable. That is my time. Jesus girl is out. Peace.